So, for today's video, I thought it would be interesting if I do a game breakdown that really shows the tempo in Phobies. Now, I will be discussing a game with me versus Circulatum, and breaking it down turn by turn. I hope this helps you new players and experienced players alike. If you are new to Phobies, I do recommend you join the Phobies official Discord server, and I'll leave a link below for that. First things first, let's start with turns 1 and 2. Now, I really want to note the playstyle that we both play with. You're going to see Circulatum comes out of the gate with a very aggressive playstyle. Now, you're going to see me, on the other hand, I play with a very defensive playstyle in reaction to this. Just take this in note as we go along through the turns. For turn 3 and 4, Circulatum is going to rush to the points, and I'm going to have to respond to this. Now, at this point, the game is definitely elevated. It's going to be faster paced, and I'm really going to need to push my defenses up. So you're really going to see me maneuvering my jar cannon to kill the boom. I'm going to be moving the cowbell for next turn to position it to get onto a point. I'm really trying to give myself more options to advance past these points and really just turn the game around, because at this point this game does look dangerous. On turns 5 and 6, we really see that Circulatum is still keeping up a very aggressive playstyle. Now, it's important to note the distinct shift right here. So, I'm going to be starting to play on offense, and Circulatum's going to be playing an essentially aggressive defense. Now, on my turn, I'm really thinking to myself that I need to get onto this bottom point, because if I don't, my heart will suffer, and if I do put myself onto the point, I realize that I actually can probably get a good trade out of this, and overall, summon Jill and just really trying to set myself up to take the next couple of points and get back into this game. On turn 7 and 8, you're really going to see that Circulatum is still trying to push me off these points and control them. Circulatum really wants to control these points just to do maximum damage to my heart and hopefully win off this. Now, I did set up a really good defense here. You're going to see that on my turn, I actually end up summoning Jin Sting and get a huge AoE. I really think this turn really causes a turn of events and is one of the main reasons that I did win. You're going to see a lot of blunders here. I do just a lot of damage, and it's really important to note that my only really problem at this point is this obstacle in the center of the map. Now, this is kind of stopping me from getting onto the points and forcing me to sacrifice something by going for the bottom point. For turns 9 and 10, I really feel like Circulatum makes a really good play going for my Murder Wing here. They're going to trade up one key, and they're really going to force me to use this Murder Wing before it dies. And sadly, I do actually get better worth on this, because I actually will get one hit on the Murder Wing, and I know it won't die this turn, but I end up sacrificing it to capture a point, knowing that if he actually does use Gravedigger or Jin Sting to recapture this, I will most definitely get a better reward than they would. You're also going to see that I move Jill up closer, and I'm really just trying to get Jill up to take a point in the future, hoping that I can force him to end his turn on one of the capture points, and we'll see how this plays out. For turns 11 and 12 and on, I really feel like the game just kind of starts to ramp up. You're going to see that Circulatum actually does use their Gravedigger to make sure their Jin Sting doesn't die from that middle point, and they're going to get a hit off on my Jin Sting. Now, this is honestly, I think, a blunder. I really think they should have kept this unit alive, maybe tried to wall off this point right here where it's at, maybe moved it back, just played a little bit more defensive, just slow the game down. I do end up getting Jill closer and closer, so you'll see that Jill really does do, it really helps a lot when you get Jill onto a point, because it just forces an opponent to react to it in some way. And you also see that I summon Gravedigger, and now this is really only to get rid of this obstacle. I don't really have much use for it. I'll probably sacrifice it down the line. It's honestly fine since they sacrificed one and I will as well. It's really just to get rid of this one obstacle. On turns 13 and 14, you're really going to see a more defensive play from both me and Circulatum here. You're going to see they actually decide to save their keys to 7, which I think is really interesting because they want to react to what I summon. Now I'm going to move Jill onto the point and really force my opponent to do something about this now that I have complete control of the game, and now I just really need to focus on defense and making sure I save some keys for some 1-cost units to get back onto the point if needed. So I do end up summoning Erratic. Now I think this is really important because if your opponent isn't prepared to deal with an Erratic or isn't winning in keys, then he's just super hard to deal with. And you'll see how Circulatum reacts, which might not have been the best, but it is super hard to react to an Erratic later in the game. So on turn 15, we see Circulatum does use all their keys. Now, the sheep is a good choice to get rid of Erratic when it comes to it, but summoning Stabby is really not the best option here. They really should have kept one key to get onto the point or something a little bit cheaper, because the game is now all about points and who has the better control. So, and you're going to see me, I start to lay a trap here. I'm hoping their sheep will go for the Erratic. I realize that my units are all in range to go for an attack. And this is really important and probably the turning point of the game. This is where it really sets it in stone who's going to win. So let's go on to the next 2 turns. On turn 17, you're actually going to see that Circulatum does in fact take the bait and go for the poison on Erratic. Now, I'm just going to let the rest of the video play out, and you're just going to see me chunk down the rest of the units, and eventually I will win. Now, I want to talk about 3 kind of main things that should apply to your guys' games you should be thinking about. Now, first is the shift to defense to offense and offense to defense. You saw that early in the game, this was shifted, and really if I didn't get onto the points, I might have lost to damage done to my heart. So it's really important to know when to get onto the points and when to be defensive about it. Next, we should probably talk about positions. Now, I really think my jar cannon probably won me this game. You could see that about every turn I could get a shot in, or just 2 shots in, and I rarely had to move it. And lastly, personally, I just really wanted to say that I don't think swarming is the best option unless you know your plan is bulletproof. You probably shouldn't be going for a swarm. I just don't recommend it at all. Overall, this was a great game played by Circulatum, and I just really hope this helped you guys further understand the tempo in Phobies and how to better react to your enemy. So let me know if I should make more videos analyzing games and breaking them down. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.